Just as with Photoshop, Bridge and Adobe Camera Raw, there are settings we can apply that define how the programs work, and we've got the same thing we can do in Lightroom to a limited extent. If you're just going to install Lightroom, this is what you'll be faced with, and Lightroom will have installed itself to a default location. And if we go to Edit, Catalog Settings, you can see where it's going to locate itself. C drive, users, Steve's main computer. This will be a bit different for your computer. And if we just have a look at the route, you can see here C drive, users, Steve's main computer, pictures, Lightroom, and there's the Lightroom catalog. Now the Lightroom catalog stores all the different processes, all the development processes that you will be applying to your image. So this is Lightroom's heart really, and it's useful just to know where that is actually located. Now if you're going to start importing lots and lots of images into Lightroom, you need to think ahead as to, will your C drive, because it's located on the drive that all the programs are on at present, is that going to be sufficient for all the images and things that you're going to be using? Because once it starts generating previews of images, it can start to eat into your hard drive. So I always store all of my raw files and my photograph files on separate hard drives, and I've actually got a separate hard drive that I will be using for Lightroom's own purpose. So I'd like to create first of all a new catalog in the location where I want it to be rather than this default location, and we'll take it from there. So let's go back to Lightroom. So before we do anything else, I want to create a new catalog. Now at the moment you can see that this is the default catalog and there's no photographs in there. It's empty because we haven't imported anything. Okay, so there's very little, it hasn't consumed much resources at present. So I'm going to go to File, New Catalog. And you can define where you want this catalog to be stored. So I'm going to go to this PC, and here I've got an internal hard drive. It's a solid state drive which I keep my Lightroom catalogs in. Okay, so it's got quite a lot of space there. It's a very fast because it's a solid state drive, and I've created a folder that I wish to put this catalog in. Now you can have as many catalogs as you like. I've got my main catalog here, but I'm creating a demonstration catalog purely so you can see how it's all done. So I'm going to select the demo catalog folder that I wish Lightroom to put this catalog into, this demonstration catalog, so you can see how it all works. And I'm going to call this so the demo catalog file is going to go into the demo catalog folder within this drive that has got sufficient space for the work that I hope to do. I'm going to create it. And Lightroom has closed and reopened. Let's get rid of that. And here we can see we're now in the demo catalog library module. There we go. So we've just created a brand new catalog, and now I want to set up Lightroom in a way that works best for me. And again, there's no photographs in it. We can't see any photographs because we haven't imported them. We'll do that on a future video. But we need to go to Edit, and here we've got what's called Catalog Settings and Preferences. So first I'm going to go to Catalog Settings, and then we'll look at Preferences. So here we've got the general catalog settings, and you can see the location. That is where we've just gone and created this catalog, okay, and the date when it was done, and we can see the size of the catalog as well. Now the catalog stores all of the processing information that you apply to your images once you've imported them and worked on them, it stores all those changes in its own catalog. So it doesn't actually change the images themselves, it just stores the information needed to render those images in a way that you've processed them, and it stores them all in this central catalog. If you lose the catalog, you lose all of your work. You don't lose the images because the images are left totally untouched. But recognizing this, Lightroom people have decided to make a backup of your catalog periodically, and you can, the default setting is once a week. So I'll leave it at once a week. It will back up your entire catalog to a different location, hopefully on a different drive. Now the default location is a location on your C drive, so that needs to be on in a separate drive preferably, because if you lose that drive, you don't want to lose the main catalog and the backup as well. So the default location of this is on the C drive. My main catalog here is on the E drive, a physically separate drive. So I'm quite happy with that, to back that up to the C drive. File handling. Whenever you import an image into Lightroom, Lightroom generates preview images that you can then see as thumbnails. Now, whenever you looking through these images, it's best to have the resolution of these images, especially if you're using it in loop view where you just see one image filling the screen. You want the resolution of that preview image to best make use of the pixels within your monitor. Now I'm using a 4K monitor, which is 4 times the resolution of a full HD monitor, and it's automatically detected the pixel number across the width of the screen as 3840 pixels. So I'm going to leave that at the default setting. There are manual settings you can apply, but I advise you to make sure that the standard previews are generated to the pixel dimension of your monitor. Otherwise the images, if you have a lower resolution selected, the images will look a bit fuzzy, they won't look sharp. I'm also going to change the preview quality to high. When you're importing your images, you have the option to generate one-to-one size previews as well. Now these can start to really consume a lot of resources on your computer, but if I have generated a one-to-one preview, I don't really want it to disappear, so I'm going to select never. Otherwise it will discard them at the time duration that you've selected there. Metadata. There's a few things down here. I don't use any of this lot here. Look up city, state, country, GPS coordinates. I haven't got this built into my camera, so I'm going to discard that. I'm going to discard that as well. Face detection. I don't use any of these, so I'm going to uncheck them, because any of these things that you have selected will consume resources and take a bit of time to sort themselves out. So those are the catalog settings that I normally have. So I'll click OK. We'll now go to Preferences, and we'll go to the General Preferences. You've got the language if you wish to change that. What else have we got here? This is probably the main one in here. I don't use Lightroom to import images from a card, so I prefer to use the Windows File Explorer for that, because I find it quicker, and then I import them using a different system into Lightroom, which I'll show you later on. So I don't want the import dialog box appearing whenever I insert a memory card, so I leave that unchecked. But if you wish to use Lightroom to import your images, then make sure that's checked, and whenever you put a memory card into the computer, it will automatically open up the import dialog box. Presets. I leave all of these unchecked. Now a preset is a development process. So if you've got an image that you've done quite a lot of development processes to, and you think this is suitable for applying to other images that you're going to import into Lightroom, then you can save that development process as a preset. Now if you check any of these, it will make the preset specific to camera serial number. I don't want that. To a specific camera ISO setting, I don't want that either. Or store presets with this catalog. I want any of my presets to be applied, to be available, no matter what camera serial number I'm using, no matter what ISO I'm using, no matter which catalog I'm working in. So a preset, as long as you have these unchecked, will be available no matter what you're doing within Lightroom. So I'll leave all those unchecked. External editing. All the work that you do in Lightroom, it carries it all out automatically. All the color management, the bit depth and everything, you don't actually see any of this working within Lightroom. However, if you want to export your image and work on it in an external editor such as Photoshop, Lightroom needs to know what attributes to apply to that image, because it's going to be rendered as a bitmap type of image. Now these are the default settings, and you can see here that Lightroom has kindly gone and said that actually 16 bits in ProPhoto RGB color space is the recommended settings for preserving the information that was available to Lightroom when it was editing the raw files. So I make sure that this is set to PSD. It doesn't matter whether you have TIFF or PSD. I just use a Photoshop file, because that just indicates to my brain that it's a layered image. For the color space, set to ProPhoto RGB. You've got Adobe 1998 or sRGB. ProPhoto RGB is the only one that will keep all of the color information that was available when working within Lightroom. And 16 bits per channel also increases the tonal information massively. I set this to 300 pixels per inch because that's the pixel resolution that I prefer for my printing, but this really makes no odds. But these are the important settings here. ProPhoto RGB, 16 bits per channel. You can change it if you wish, but this is what they recommend. If you have a different external editor to Photoshop, because you can see here, edit in Adobe Photoshop. So if you have a different editor, you can set the default settings that Lightroom will send the image to that external editor. And again, you can change it to, it won't be Photoshop because I won't be using Photoshop, so it's probably going to be TIFF, ProPhoto RGB, 16 bits per channel. Okay. But I only use Photoshop there. File handling. If on import into Lightroom you change the camera's default raw file, like a Canon CR2 file, into a DNG digital negative file, then these are the settings that will be applicable to that rendering of a DNG file. You got a few changes for settings for metadata and new file generations if you're putting metadata in there. Let's go to the interface. You can't do an awful lot with the interface in here. You can just change the main window's color to white or a different color here, but I've left them at their default settings. You got like show badges here. Within, once we get images into here, you'll have a thumbnail image of the different images, and there'll be little icons within the thumbnail which we call badges, and the badges can represent things like ratings, stack counts, and other useful settings. So I always have show badges set, and I'll leave the others at the default settings. Performance. If you have a computer with a a reasonable graphics card, Lightroom can make use of it to speed up certain processes. So if possible, if it's acceptable to Lightroom, you'll have the option to check the use graphics processor. So make sure that's checked, because that is useful. Lightroom Mobile and Network, I don't use any of that, so that's okay. So once it's all set, I restart Lightroom to apply the changes, and we're ready to go, and then we can start importing images if we wish.